Welcome to today's lecture on idealism, one of the most influential philosophies in education and human thought. The word idealism comes from ideals or ideas. It suggests that higher values, truth, beauty, and goodness are far more important than material things. For idealists, reality is rooted not in the physical world, but in the world of spirit and mind. This philosophy is deeply inspired by the ideas of Plato, the greatest philosopher of all times, who believed that ideas are more real than objects. Definitions of idealism. Let us first look at how different scholars define idealism. Asterisk according to D.M. Dutta. Idealism holds that ultimate reality is spiritualism. Asterisk J.S. Ross states, the true reality is of a mental character. Mind or spirit is the essential world stuff. Asterisk Hormy says, idealistic philosophy of education is an account of man finding himself as an integral part of the universe of mind. Asterisk and Brubacher adds, for idealists, nothing gives a greater sense of reality than the activity of the mind itself. Chief assertions of idealism. Idealism is built on some central beliefs. 1. Ultimate reality is mental or spiritual in nature. The material world is just an outward appearance. 2. The material world is mortal and changing, but values and ideals are eternal. 3. The body is mortal, but the soul is immortal and true. 4. Man is a spiritual being, different from animals because of his spirit. 5. Man is free to choose his goals and means. 6. Values, truth, beauty, and goodness already exist. Man's task is to realize them. 7. The highest knowledge is spiritual reality. 8. Education must lead to the fullest development of personality, which means striving for perfection. Idealism and aims of education. What does idealism mean for education? The main aim is the exaltation of human personality, helping individuals realize their highest potential. Idealism promotes universal education. All human beings, regardless of race or culture, share the same divine spark. Education should enrich cultural environment and preserve heritage. Above all, it must cultivate moral values, developing intellectual, aesthetic, and moral aspects of personality, leading to character building. Idealism and curriculum. The curriculum, according to idealism, should focus on subjects that uplift the human personality. Plato emphasized subjects that lead towards the highest values, truth, beauty, and goodness. Thus, the curriculum includes humanities, languages, literature, history, geography, mathematics, science, art, poetry, religion, and ethics. Physical activities like health and gymnastics are also important, but always balanced with spiritual values. Idealism and methods of teaching. Idealism has influenced education more in its aims than in methods. Plato promoted the Socratic method, teaching through questioning and dialogue. Other methods include deductive, inductive, and analytical approaches. Idealism stresses instruction, activity, and experience. Learning should involve creativity, self-expression, and guided freedom. Teachers should provide meaningful experiences to unfold a child's potential. Idealism and the teacher. For idealists, the teacher is central and indispensable. The child cannot understand reality on his own. He needs the guidance of a mature and wise teacher. The teacher is not just an instructor, but a role model and moral guide. According to Ross, the teacher helps the learner reach levels otherwise impossible to achieve alone. Thus, education is a shared journey. The teacher shapes the pupil, and the pupil also shapes the teacher. Idealism and discipline. Idealism believes in freedom with responsibility. Discipline is not imposed. It must be self-discipline. Freedom does not mean license or carelessness. It means guided freedom, where internal controls matter more than external punishments. The teacher must set a personal example, because students often emulate their teachers. Merits of idealism. Idealism has given much to education. It emphasizes complete development of personality. It blends individual and social aims. It gives the teacher a central role. It highlights spiritual and moral development. It promotes self-realization and self-discipline. It restores education as a process of character building and value creation. Criticism of idealism. However, idealism is not without criticism. It neglects the psychological and physical nature of the child. It contributes little to modern teaching methods. It gives too much authority to the teacher, making students overly dependent. It may lead to rigid social order and unreachable goals. It emphasizes humanities while undervaluing science and technology. It overlooks individual differences and modern industrial realities. Conclusion. To conclude, idealism places mind and spirit at the center of life and education. It teaches us that the ultimate purpose of education is not just knowledge or skills, but the realization of eternal values, truth, beauty, and goodness. While it has its limitations in today's scientific and technological age, idealism continues to inspire educators to aim for higher moral and spiritual goals.
Thank you for joining today's lecture on idealism. In our next session, we will explore another philosophy of education and see how it compares.